Okay, so today we're racing at Franchorchamps in the mountains between Belgium and France, and in the Spec Racer Ford. This is the normal start finishing line for this track for Formula One. But for our race today, we're gonna have a different start finishing line. Show you where that is. So this is the normal turn one, a hairpin. So we're gonna start from these marks right here, and our start finish line is gonna be right here, that line that we just crossed over. So we're coming down the hill towards what's called Eau Rouge. This is a famous turn here. You can go basically flat out if you're not side by side, probably. Um, you're using up a lot of curb on entrance and exit of those turns there. It's a bit sketchy when you have multiple cars drafting through there, carrying a lot of speed side by side with the draft. Pretty fun, a little bit scary. Braking for this turn is right about where the curb begins, right there. That's probably a little bit braking early. We also have to kind of keep in mind how much speed you're carrying because of the draft. This turn here is a little bit tough. I feel like it tightens as you go through it, so you need to stay wide on entry and kind of roll through off throttle and then get back on throttle about here. And then brake a little bit for this turn and get back on throttle pretty early. You carry more speed through the exit there. I could have carried a little bit more. This turn I find quite tricky. Um, Brake here in a straight line, get kind of off the brakes, roll the turn a little bit, back on the throttle smoothly, and you want to hit this one really good. Carry enough speed through here, could have carried more, and then brake a little bit before these curbs. Downshift twice, up on the curbs, up on these curbs. Here you brake right about where the painted curb is. I braked a little bit early. Get back on the throttle pretty hard here. I could have got on harder here. I could use all the green out there too, I believe. Stay on the throttle all the way through this. No braking through that turn because you need to carry all the speed down this long, mostly straight kind of back section. This this is flat out all through here. This turn is pretty easy. This turn you got to hit just right to carry all the speed through here. I touched the brake just slightly there. And then here you want to brake somewhere after this line, right about here, maybe 3 car lengths after that line or so. Get braking, all your braking done. Try to clip this curb. Try to clip this curb. Get the power down smoothly. Track kind of falls away from you there, and you're back on the normal F1 front straightaway, heading back towards Formula One Turn One up here. Uh, so that's a lap around Spa. Got a few laps of practice in, and it's about a 2 minute 45-second lap is a pretty good lap. The fastest guys will be well under that, like 2:43, 2:42, something like that. Um, Tough track, challenging track, fun track. I haven't yet raced it with these cars with other cars on the track, so that will be the challenge here. Here we go. Starting 12th. Actually, let's start. We'll do the TV camera angle first, and then we'll switch back. So we're the yellow car with the 9 spot on the hood there. That kind of gives you a sense of the chaos there. This 8 car, I felt Kevin, he races real good. We're I feel like really well matched. He was kind of moving around a little bit there, so I was just going opposite whatever he was doing. You see, there's lots of cars on the track. I think it's probably about 18-ish cars in the field, something like that around there. There's somebody else spun off. All right, let's uh, let's go back and look at that from the in car. All right, so we'll get that same beginning half a lap from in car, and we'll stay on it from there. Got an okay start. Wasn't the greatest. Everybody else got a good start, I guess. You can take it flat out through there, but being the first lap, cold tires, other cars around, they somebody touched the brakes a little bit. Lots of drafting here, so I'm getting a good draft off of 8 car here. I go left to see if he's gonna really go left. He decides to go out there and sort of block it, so I dive back to the inside, which I figured that's what would happen. I just wanted him to commit to one side or the other, so I was kind of forcing him to commit. I've raced him against him many times, and we're very close on speed and I think driving ability. So it's fun to race with him. I lost it a little bit at the braking. I lost the rear end, stepped out, so I had to kind of back out of it and gather it back up. And so um, this meant everybody was all over me from behind. So I kept an inside line going through this next turn, kind of bottle them up there. And I think that was kind of a there was a crunch there. Somebody got into it right here. I was going to say I thought maybe that was due to what we were doing here, kind of backing everybody up, but it wasn't. There was enough space back. This was a completely separate issue. I just want to check that. 14 car pretty racy, diving it up the inside. You can see we both used all the room on exit and more. I might have got an off track incident point there. A little bit of kind of incidental contact in a couple of places there, I think. Nothing major. This track is pretty high speed, lots of high speed sections. Ooh, there's some crunching going on back there. Lots of high speed sections, which means lots of momentum. Somebody makes a small mistake, other people will be all over them. Drafting plays a big part, but it's mainly a momentum thing. The small mistake is basically going to cost you. Oh, let's let's back up and check that out. That looked hairy. So that 14 car behind us. Let's go on board with him. Matthias. Okay, so let's do maybe far chase. Okay, so actually maybe not Matthias. The 14 car, Kuo Lee. Okay, so we have a right-hander coming up, and he's kind of on the inside where normal racing line is far to the outside of the track. So he's sort of way on the inside. Uh, so he's not getting his car turned as much. Like we have our car turned right here. His car's not turned nearly enough, and he's carrying more speed. So it's unclear how he's going to make this turn. So the 6 car is kind of taking a more normal line. 14 car basically nails the brake super hard, loses the rear end, and those other 2 guys are trying to avoid it, and they get into each other, and they also spin. Uh, so that's unfortunate for them. Um, Ricardo and Matthias maybe in the 6. Yeah. So they spin and then got to get going again. Oof, and back into each other. Ugly. Um, okay, let's jump back up to where we are. So let's back this up slightly. So these 3 cars are kind of battling for position in front of us. And we're going to get a great draft off this. This is a long, straight, flat out section. They're all a little bit compromised on their line or having to kind of lift for the car around them or be a little bit careful because of the car around them, where I can come through here flat out because I have enough of a gap to them. I can see exactly what's going on. I can keep my foot in it completely. You can see a touch of the brake there up there. And I touched the brake slightly. I'm trying to carry as much speed as I can through here. But then now I got to hit the brake a little bit. I got to hit the little brake a little bit because I didn't want to hit the back of. I was trying not to hit the back of the 8 car sideways, but everybody's kind of shifting around left and right. So I hit the brake here, and then he kind of moves a little bit, or I move right, and I don't really want to hit him not square, but I touched him a little bit or something. He moved over anyway, and he touched the 13, which is probably because I touched his car. I think. I think we touched. So then that 13 car gets into the wall a little bit and saves it. Um, yeah, he saves it. Ah, switching camera angles too much. Okay. So now these two guys are battling for position here, bumping a little. That seemed a little bit unnecessary. There's one thing like sort of racing and taking different lines. There's another when you're just reacting to the car next to you or behind you a lot and not really racing. And I think we'll see that in a second here. That car in front of the 8 seems kind of overdriving it, maybe angry or something about some contact or some issue earlier. So we'll go on board here. So you can see these two cars in front are taking different lines sometimes pretty drastically. Every once in a while you'll see uh, like Adrian kind of missed the Kevin Adrian in front of us in the 8 car. He kind of missed the apex a little bit there. Might have got another incident point for that, getting all 4 tires off the racing surface, but on the paint stuff still. So not sure. This is a turn. This one's pretty easy, and then this next one you got to hit just perfect to keep your foot in it through this whole thing. So you might hear me breathe it. Yeah, breathe it a little bit on throttle, coming off the throttle for a split second there, and then brake about here, hard. Get all of your downshifting done. Coming out of this turn is a little tricky. The track kind of drops away from you a little bit. It's a little bit slick coming out of there. So we should be farther to the left, but I'm drafting off these guys and then moving to the left here. And then 8 car comes and moves to the left, right, the last kind of second there of I'm going to dive back to the inside, taking the racing line. 8 couldn't do that because the 17 was kind of in his way, but I wasn't close enough to the 17 for that to be a problem. So I'm looking for this to happen here. I expected these guys are going to get into it. They had been fighting a little rough there. Let's back that up and see how that looked again. Ooh, he spun off. All right, let's go slow-mo here. Um, or maybe the 8 brake checked him or something coming out of there. Or they touched each other. Um, they're getting a little bit out of hand, it looked like to me. I wasn't surprised by that. I was trying to take advantage, but not get collected in it. So now we got a little bit of a gap in front of us, a big gap in front of us, and a little gap behind us. Maybe 2-second, 2.5-second gap behind us. Back to Volker, and then behind him is Chris Tucker, and then Kevin. Um, oof, that was interesting. I really don't have that turn figured out. And it really looked like it was stepping out big time there. Let's see from a different angle here. Maybe. Okay, maybe we can see it from here. Watch the rear end. Rear end steps out. I got to kind of steer to correct, uh, basically steer to the right to keep the front end in front of the rear end. Um, I just haven't figured that turn out. It's quick, important, leads into another fast turn. It's kind of hard to get right. So we are working lap 3 right now of 9. These are pretty long laps. They're about 2.8 miles. So this is only a 9 lap race. And right now we are currently in 8th position. I think we started 12th or so. So this guy's closed up very, very tight here. So I'm going to be taking probably defensive line mostly. Hard braking. He almost gets into us there. I kind of saw that coming and left a little more room um, on entry here. I saw him in the mirror and I knew he was coming up, going to drive it up the inside here. And so because of that, I stayed wider. I didn't, he's to our inside, so I don't want to squeeze him too much to be perfect on those curbs. And so I gave a little bit more room as we come up there. And so slow this down to quarter speed. And so he comes up here carrying too much speed. Uh, and drifts out a little wide, doesn't quite take that turn very well. And so, yeah, it's probably a better angle. Let's back this up. These trees are in the way. Oh, well. So basically, we're able to take a shorter line through those turns, through that sort of S turn, um, and maintain the position, even though he had a full head of steam coming there. Here, I stay to the inside a bit as well, defensive line, until I feel like the last second, and then I dive out left, and then take racing line or close to a racing line back to the right, and he spins himself out. Um, so back up a little more. So we're coming up to a right-hander. So you want to be on the far left to make the widest entry into this. Um, so I'm probably a little too far. I could have started turning in a little bit sooner. But I also know he's somewhere to the inside. I don't know exactly where. I know he's to my right, but I'm not sure on his exact position. And so I can't squeeze him completely. I can't come all the way to the curb. Uh, but I need to try to take a fast line through that turn. So he tries to turn tighter, and he has too much brake going on right here, and then gets back on the throttle probably pretty hard and spins it right around. Where we're able to take a wider exit, we don't have to turn the wheel as much, and so we are at less of a risk of spinning out like he did. Um, so that's what happened there. So we're starting lap 4 here. That was the start finish line we just went through. Back through Eau Rouge again. So now behind us we have uh, Chris Tucker and Adrian. Let's move to watch these guys for a minute. Uh, this 8 car is kind of interesting to watch usually. He dives into, oof. He took the first part of that really good, and then this other car battled back. That was interesting. It seems like the 8 car's been in the middle of some intense battling here. Um, really aggressive. It looks like they have gone off track slightly there. Let's watch this from behind. So you can see quite different lines. Missed the apex. The red car missed the apex on that one. That second part of the little bit of contact. Almost more contact. And now he has the car to his inside, so he can't take that how he would like to. And then now they're giving a huge draft to this six car behind them. So now they're going three wide. So this is Matthias in this six car here. That is very tricky through there. That 13 car had a little bit of wheel spin. So at this point, I see in my relative time box very different lines. I see in the relative time box that the 8 car is closing it down slightly on me. He was back, I think maybe 3.5 seconds back, and now he's maybe about 2 seconds back, and we still have about half the race to go. It looks like the 6 car must have gotten a better exit. He's closing up down this long section here. Takes that a little better over the curbs. A little tighter over the curbs here again. He's definitely closing in. Tighter here. Definitely better apex that turn. Or hit the apex, I should say, on that turn. This is a tricky place to try to pass. I feel like the 6 car backed out of it there. He had a run, but it was in a place to try to use it. Looks like the 8 car is kind of overdriving it a bit. Great run, both on the throttle hard. 6 car has a huge advantage here because he's got the draft. And he's got the momentum now. So he'll be better set up going up on this next turn where you can only go single file. Now he's clear, and he can take this single file flat out. So that really paid off, getting it pass done when he got it done. Oh, the 8 car closed up a lot under braking right there. It's really aggressive under braking. Made up a lot of ground. And he had the draft. Like that's where the draft was finally paying off for him. These guys kind of blocking each other a bit. Trying to keep the action in frame, but not switch around too much. I'm gonna stay with that one for a bit. That that section that just went through Eau Rouge, you kind of pick your line early and you're just kind of stuck with it through the next set of turns, and it's blind. So I'm seeing this in the mirror a bit. I'm happy to see that because That gives me a little bit more breathing room because I feel like both of these guys are faster than me. But as long as they keep fighting, this gives me more time to try to get away or hold a position. They also have the advantage of drafting off of each other, which helps them if they sort of kind of work together and go nose to tail. They can slingshot around each other, assuming they don't slow each other down. So we are on lap 6 of 9. Oof. Six car kind of missed the apex and then braked and then turned down to the racing line. I'm going on board with the 8 car here. He had to lift a little bit to keep it on the track. See how much ground he makes up under braking here. The last lap he made up a lot. Oh yeah, he's much better under braking there. We can learn something. That was from somebody else somewhere on the track. See, they get right down uh, almost all 4 tires over that painted section. So right now we're almost equally spread apart, maybe about a second and a half separating each of us here. Um, from this 8 car up to the 6 car, then up to us in the 9 car, and 2 cars up from here. See how much it closes up under braking here. That was very good. All right, let's switch up 1 car to Matthias. So Matthias is chasing us down more intently here. He's about half a second, maybe a little bit less. Uh, Bad camera work here. So he got biased there. Um, got draft, ducked to the outside, which becomes the inside coming through here. Got the position right back. And now we're coming up to that chicane um, with heavy braking right here. So we have the inside line. He backs out of it to save the fight for a later time. Ran wide. Got an incident point right there for that. But no time penalty. Only when you cut the track basically pretty severely do you get a time penalty. Just running off a little bit, there's not a time penalty. I'm taking a defensive line. He's trying to figure out which way I'm going to go. I give him the outside, which is going to be the outside for the first part of this turn, and it's quickly going to become the inside. So try to outbreak him going in there, and that works. Again, he's taking a peek, but too far back. Just trying to keep it clean. Uh, Trying to hit every apex, not beat myself. This turn is really important. It comes onto this long straight section. He gets a good exit, swings to the inside, which becomes the outside as we go through this left-hander. And now, and we touch. So this is the turn. This is the turn where you have to hit it just right, and you can take it flat out. Um, and so he's on kind of the preferred line here, but I got to run, and I'm coming with the inside here. So let's back it up a little bit. So you can kind of see this dark section sort of in the middle, almost between us, is the sort of the preferred line through there. So I have a little bit of a run because I got a little bit of a draft, and now I have a shorter line through here. Uh, so I'm going a little bit quicker, but I'm thinking we're coming towards this section where you can only really make it full speed. One car can make it full speed through there, one car width. And so I realize, uh-oh, I'm gonna have to, we're gonna have, we're gonna have to do something different here. Otherwise, we're not gonna make it. We're gonna have to slow down in order to make this turn because neither one of us has the full use of the full width of the track to be able to go from the outside all the way to the inside curb and then all the way back to the outside curb. Even one car by himself, you heard us lifting going through here, braking a slight bit going through here. So two car widths plus a little bit of margin between the cars. We're not going to make this turn. We're not going to make that left-hander side by side. And so I'm thinking really quickly, uh-oh, what am I going to do? And so I decide a little bit late, let me just get on the brakes a little bit going through here. So let's go quarter speed. So we come in here. He turns in. I got on the brake and drifted a little bit to the right, and we touch, and he goes for a spin. I watched this a few times. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is my mistake, his mistake, or just a racing thing. Uh, I'm to the inside. I have a nose on him. He turns in, kind of like we're not there. Like, how else am I going to take that turn? I can't just disappear. Um, so, I don't know. Let's look at it. It's often interesting to look at it from the other perspective. Let's look at it from both perspectives. Okay, let's go in car, cockpit view. We'll back it up. So he's on our outside right there, you can see. And we'll go full speed, regular speed. Okay, so that was from our in car. I definitely didn't want to have contact, but okay, now this is from his in car. Back it up a little farther too. So I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's his fault. Uh, I still can't decide. Um, Chopper view. I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's a little more on him. He needed to slow down a little to take that turn and didn't, and was just going to try to use more of the track than was really available. But I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. So this is lap 8 of 9, and nothing really changed for us after that. We're in 5th position. It's unfortunate for him. I didn't say anything or really apologize because I didn't really know what to say. I wasn't sure it was my fault. Um, I was sure he was probably upset, but uh, nothing else really happened. So let's go ahead and, while this is last lap is going, let's go ahead and look at the lap times. Quickly get down to 245s, 247, 245, 245. Yeah, pretty consistently 245s. And then low 245s last 2 laps. Fastest lap was lap 6. 8 and 9 were pretty quick too. Uh, so the contact's unfortunate, but other than that, I was happy about the race. Um, let's go ahead and look at some of the action. We'll jump through here real quickly to the contact. Oops, wrong button here. There's the start. We keep jumping back to the start for some reason. And switch camera angles. Jump to the next incident option isn't working so well right now. Maybe we don't have incidents yet. All right, there's that incident. It's coming back on. There's one car spinning there. This is when we ran a little bit wide on entry. Got a little bump from behind. Kind of stacking them up behind us a little bit. And then somehow didn't die. Getting run over from behind. Now we're kind of back up to speed. There's some crunching going on there. For some reason, jumping around from incident to incident's not working today. But that was a race. Thanks for watching. That was fun.